Hey guys, it's Rebecca Verstadt. In today's video, I figured I would do this palette, and I'm going to be wrapping up like a first impression at the very end of it. I'm not going to talk through this. I've been dealing, yesterday I had a sinus migraine most of the day, and I took a new allergy pill yesterday, one of the non-drowsy ones, because the last one that I took made my heart race. So my throat on this side is still really sore, so I don't want to talk a whole lot through this. So we're going to be testing out this palette. I will do 2 different looks, and then I'll do like the rest of the stuff on my face after. And I decided I'd wear this today just to see how it works in my hair. So far I've got like this much of my hair in it, and it's like it's barely hanging in there. So yeah, keep your fingers crossed for the cute little hat that you can't kind of see because it's out of frame. But I'm gonna go ahead and get started, and I will play music through the eye looks and whatnot. So hopefully you enjoy, and then I'll do like a see, there goes my voice. I'll do like a wrap up first impression of this palette at the end. This is technically day 3 or 3rd palette out of my collection. The next one that I have pulled is from Nomad. This is the Berlin Underground. So depending on how long I'm up today, I might wash this one off and then wear this for a few hours. So I don't know. I didn't record at all the last 2 days because my head has just been too bad. So I will see you guys at the end of this. Enjoy watching the eye looks. Hey guys, so this is the finished look. I had to wait for the air to cut off and my battery is flashing at me and I still have little to no voice. Really quick rundown on the face. I use the Essence and Tarte concealer and corrector under my eyes. The Maybelline Falsies mascara, I tried using it and it's super chunky, so I will try using this one more time. If it's still just as chunky, this is going because it's old. The lips is Ofra Unzipped. And I ended up using the ColourPop brow pencil and the e.l.f. brow gel. I ended up trying to use this eye booster stuff from BH to put in the center of this lid, but I got some a little too far out, so it like caused the pigmentation on the darker blue shade out here to like really grab in certain spots. I tried to blend it as best I could and I lost. So I threw some gems on it to hide it. In my waterline, I have the ColourPop Punch in this one because it's like an orangey yellow and I wanted this like orange to kind of pop more. And I used this Wet n Wild one in the waterline here and oh buddy, did my eye burn. So, and it's like melted off, which is why I used the darker blue right underneath my lower lash line to hide the effects of this. So I will never use one of those in my waterline again. Holy crap, my eye is still like, it's still stinging. So, ow. Oh, the blush was the Pacifica and the bronzer was also Pacifica. And then I tried to use the Pop and Bottle shade for my highlight, but it was like, because I'm fair, it's really dark, so I ended up having to go over that with Star Island from Ofra Cosmetics. So highlight is Ofra and Lele Posh. They're both indie brands. I still like my little hat. I've had to fix my hair like 3 times because it keeps falling out. So the Ibiza palette, beautiful. I had some issues. So I used these 2 shades, this one, this, and this on this eye. Getting into the problem child first is this orange right here. When I put it in the center of my lid, it was super patchy. It was very like a sheer matte formula. It didn't want to like build up, trying to get it to intensify. Even with my finger was kind of a feat. So I kind of threw this yellow shimmer shade over it, and this is a beautiful yellow, to try and hide some of the patchy spots down here by my lower lash line. So it was a very patchy orange. This like darker orange shade here, this like red orange or orange red, however you prefer to label it, was really nice on the lower lash line. I didn't have any issues with it being patchy like this one. So far so good. And then this is like a perfect eraser shade. I used it up on the brow bone in order to erase some blown out spots that I like went a little ham blending. The other eye is this shade, which is like a robin's egg blue, and then you have like a teal. I use this like very light lavender shade. I use this shade and the center shade as well as the eraser shade. This one here is like a topper, this light lavender shade. It is beautiful though, but it's very sheer. And you have to like really work to kind of like build it up. You can barely see it on my hand. The blue was perfect. The blue was beautiful. I didn't have any issues. There was nice pigmentation behind it, but this was definitely more like a topper shade. And of course, this is like a topper shade as well. I use this on my brow bone. So I used, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 shades out of here. And there are 35, so I have lots more to use. First impressions, other than that orange shade, the mattes blended well. I didn't have any issues. The Robin's Egg Blue was a little bit difficult to get to show up, but that's just because it's a light blue shade. The teal I could have made darker like I did on the lower lash line. If you kind of like stamp the color and then stamp again and then blend, you'll end up with a richer pigment. Had I not gotten like glitter glue in this one region on my brow bone, I don't think that the color would have grabbed like it did. I think that was just a me fault, not a palette fault. First impressions, it's beautiful. I love the colors in here. I said in my live unboxing that these like colors right here were like screaming my name, and they have been. It's been sitting on the counter for a couple of days because I haven't been feeling that great to film, and it's been screaming at me every time I walk in here. So I had to use it today, feeling crappy or not. I had to use it because it was literally like going, use me, try me. I'm over here, bitch. Are you gonna use me yet? I'm like, oh, okay, I'll use you. I'll use you. I promise I'll use you. So I used it. First impressions, it's lovely. I want to try and do a look with this, like this row here. It's like an olive green, a burnt orange, this red, a brown, like a blackish gray shade. There's just like burgundy purple here. I want to try and do a look with just, you know, those shades and maybe incorporate this gold, this bronze, and this like this maroon shimmer shade. I want to try and do a look. Oh, and there's like a brass shade over here. I want to do like a really dark look, but I'm kind of feeling like grungy, which is why I pulled this one for my next. This is the color scheme for my next palette video. So this is palette 3. This will be palette 4. And I'll do a first impression on this one as well. So it'll be like palette 4 plus first impression. So these will definitely go up on YouTube. But the other ones that I'm doing for like the using all of my palettes for the month of May thing, and it's currently May 3rd. The other two I filmed like the 29th and 30th of April. So like I said, I haven't filmed in a couple of days. It's the 3rd I'm using this one. I might in a few hours wash this off and then do a look with this. I don't know. I'm thinking like a monochrome look. Because you've got like this grayish black, this gray, this like olive gray, and then you have this black down here I might use on one eye, and then I might just go straight gold on the other one. Because you've got all these like various gold shades here, and then this is like an olive shade. I don't know yet. But those are what I'm like eyeballing for this one. So palette 4, palette 3, this is beautiful. This was well worth the money. I think for when I get into the Brazil palettes, I think I'm going to do something completely out of like out of the ballpark when it comes to using those two palettes, because the one palette is all shimmer and the first palette is shimmer and matte, and this one is also shimmer and matte. But some of these shimmer shades look glittery. I had some glitter fall out, so they are very glittery shades. There's a couple that are just straight up shimmers in here, so they're not all glittery shades, but the ones that I use, the yellow, the lavender, the blue, that white shade. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 shades, possibly 5 that are glittery shades. The rest of these look like they would just be a standard shimmer. So fingers crossed. Anyways, I like it. It's beautiful and I can't wait to use it more. Let me know which eye you prefer. The purple, let's say a fuchsia, orange and yellow eye, or the blue and lavender eye. I don't know. If this orange hadn't been so hard to work with, I'd say this one. And that yellow, holy crap. Let me swatch that really quick before I go. Here's the yellow. I'll put it near the lavender shade. It's a very light looking on my hand because it's not much darker than my skin color, and I'm very yellow anyways, but this is like on the eye. I mean, it definitely has a punch effect. I can see it even, I'm zoomed all the way out. I'm sitting like 3.5, 4 feet from the camera, and I can even see that yellow in the viewfinder that's this big. So yeah. I will see you guys later. I'm Rebecca Overstock. First impressions, I like it. 1 or 2 issues, but other than that, I mean, you're gonna have at least 1 issue with a palette. I haven't had one that I've had like an amazing experience, like start to finish with them. I've always had at least one thing that like bugged me about the palette, but other than that, it's great so far. Oh, and this like magazine kind of like texture that's like not matte, but more like a softer. it's like slick, like magazine paper. It makes it super easy to wipe shadow. I just stuck my finger in that white shade, didn't I? I did. It makes it super easy to swipe to get fallout off, whereas the other Brazil palettes, the color like kind of stays on the palette, and then if you try and wipe it off, it just smears it down into the whatever the material is here. So anyways, like that. I will see you guys later. Bye.